Hello everyone. I am Flying Samurai. Welcome to my video channel. This clip will tell you how I did obtain my Thailand special tourist visa from Hong Kong in 2 weeks. I will also share with you need-to-know tricks and tips that I have learned through the process, minimizing time and effort. A special tourist visa grants you an initial entry of 3 months, then extendable to another 180 days. That gives in a total of 9 months. Also, under COVID-19, unless you have any other valid existing visas, there are no different straightforward ways to enter Thailand as per my understanding. On November 6, Thailand has updated its latest application requirements to ease the whole process. I have noted the removal of previously impossible conditions such as monthly bank statements above a certain amount, proofs of no prohibitive diseases or addictions, etc. to become relatively easy from my point of view. As a result, I started by visiting the Thailand consulate in Hong Kong for the first time on the 9th of November, as a kickstart date. After an intensive and rather efficient cycle of meeting requirements and submitting documents, I have obtained a visa stamp on my passport on the 18th of November, a certificate of entry on the 20th. I flew myself into Thailand 25th of November, a total of 2 weeks or 11 working days spent. I will take you to step by step later on, but first, I will highlight the critical timelines and documents, so you will have a general idea of arranging your time frames. This list of documents is what you need for applying for a special tourist visa. It is from the Thai embassy. I will summarize in my way of prioritized understanding to give you a full picture. For Thailand to let you in at this pandemic, you need the Thai embassy in your country to issue you 2 items: 1. Special tourist visa for 3 months. And 2, a certificate of entry that allows you to get on board. Those are your goals. For the Thai embassy to issue those 2 items, you need to convince them that, firstly, you do have a plan and provisions of staying there for more than brief weekends, and secondly, your stay will not cause liabilities to Thailand with the risks from COVID or your health. So, what you really need to show to the Thai embassy are your expected date of arrival, insurance policies, quarantine bookings, and accommodation for the rest of your stays. All those things need payment receipts as proofs. Have a credit card ready. The tricky part is how to start bookings before even knowing the visa, or flight schedule dates. Although I've done everything in 2 weeks, I suggest you set a month ahead for your expected arrival day just to be safe. I will walk you through the details next on these high priority items. Once resolved, you will have nearly nothing stopping you from Thailand. Now, the first thing for you to do is to pay a visit to the Thai embassy. Tell them you want to apply for a special tourist visa, and obtain all relevant information. Most importantly, obtain a copy of the latest version on the list of documents required for special tourist visa. Then compare to my list to make sure there are no significant differences. If all right, you can go ahead, then pick yourself an expected date of arrival. I still suggest some dates at least 3 weeks away to give enough time for everything. Also, you will need to obtain a list of flights permitted from the embassy. Remember to book your air tickets later only from the list of permitted flights. To proceed, you will need to start on 3 things simultaneously from day 1, namely, insurance policies, quarantine bookings, and accommodation for the rest of your stays. You can leave your air ticket for later, as there shall be enough seats empty as COVID goes on. First thing, procure 2 insurance policies from designated Thai insurance companies. The purpose of this step is to get insurance documents or certificates for your visa application. There are 2 insurances that you need to get. The first one is health insurance, which covers your hospital expenses. The second is called COVID insurance. It covers all possible costs, including funeral service in case of casualties from COVID. To buy health insurance, just go to the website provided on the document list, longstay.tiga.org. Click around all the available insurance companies and make some comparisons on cost and benefits yourself. Once you have decided, download, fill up, and email your application form to the contact provided. Replies come in usually around 1 to 2 days. Then follow their email instructions to make payments. Remember to obtain the formal copy, insurance certificate with all the signatures and stamps, and your payment receipts. For COVID insurance, it is with a minimum coverage of 100k USD, which is around 3.2 million Thai baht. You can get it from the same website. Just follow my screen caps, and fill up info step by step. Again, remember to obtain the formal policy, insurance certificate with all the signatures and stamps, and your payment receipts. The whole insurance policies back and forth take around a week or 5 working days to complete. Do your math on your calendar. For the 1-year coverage of mine, the cost was 35k baht for the health insurance and 14k baht for the COVID insurance. That is for your reference only, as price varies depending on coverage durations and age groups. The second thing, book a hotel/hospital room from the list of designated facilities for quarantine. The purpose of booking and full payment on your quarantine facilities is to obtain 2 documents for visa application. 1 is hotel/hospital confirmation letter for co-application, and 2, payment receipts of the booking. Take note here, don't book your hotel through apps or any agency website you found from Google, they are a waste of time. Under this pandemic, qualified Thai hotels for quarantine will only accept and process valid booking through email. Even if you have made a booking and payment through those hotel network apps, it will be cancelled and returned to you in a cold email. My suggestion is to go to the Thai Health Department's official site for qualified quarantine facilities at www.scovid.com. Don't be intimidated by the Thai writings, as it is actually in both Thai and English. All you need to do is to click on ASQ or ALQ. That gave you a full list of facilities in Bangkok and other major cities that provides quarantine packages. They are either hotels or hospitals. Click on the links will lead you to a Google Drive folder with flyers of hotel and package information. Each brochure will have a booking email contact printed. Now is the time to do your research and find out your preferred facilities and packages. I'd suggest you choose at least 2 to 3 alternatives, as they may not have available rooms on your expected date. After you have set your shortlist of 2 to 3 facilities, email them at the same time to provide your personal information and arrival days. It usually takes 1 to 2 days for them to come back to you on room availabilities, so be patient. Through a painful way, I have learned that, do not call them, as that will only mess up processing time due to cultural and language differences. Same here, with a back and forth time of a week, you will be able to confirm and pay for your hotels. Remember to get hotel confirmation letter for co-application and your payment receipts. The quarantine package's cost varies from 27k baht to a few 100,000 baht, it is really your choice depending on the depth of your pocket. The package I chose was at 45k baht and I lived. Don't expect too much, and it's only for 2 weeks. The third thing, get accommodation for the rest of your stays. If you have already bought a vacation house in Thailand, your ownership certificate is sufficient. If you have not received the ownership certificate due to the mortgage, bring the payment documents to show you have made more than 25% of the full payment. If you have not bought any property, just rent a flat for 3 months. Everything is simple for those with properties, just bring your transaction and ownership document to the embassy. As for renting, it is also relatively easy to find a local housing agent from Google. Spend some time to choose the flat. Ask the agent to get you a signed rental contract, landlord's ID copy, property ownership certificate. Remember to ask your housing agent to chop the company stamp as a witness on the rental agreement and payment receipts. If you need help with that, drop me an email or message, and I will help you out. The bottom line is to get a document to show that you will have an address to stay in after quarantine for at least 3 months. When you have received all these 3 things, insurance policies, quarantine bookings, and accommodation for the rest of your stays, it's time to book your air ticket from the list of permitted flights. Check with the Thai embassy on this if you haven't got it. Just choose any flight booking app, search on the expected date of arrival, choose the flight matching from the permitted flight list, make the payment, get your ticket and payment receipts printed out. If you have followed this video, you should be ready now. Go to the Thai embassy to submit everything required together with your filled application forms, ID copies, and your original passport. Once accepted, you will be given a receipt with a date for collection. Visa collection takes around 3 working days and 5 for certificate of entry. You need both of them to board your flight. You also need to obtain COVID test results and a fit-to-fly letter from the doctor. The embassy will tell you what to do when you pick up your visa and co. A last word of advice, for all the documents I have mentioned in this clip, bring a copy with you to Thailand, as the customs officer at Thai airport will cross-check all of them again. Best of luck and see you in Thailand.